All right, so I'll give you guys a couple minutes to participate. It's going to make the presentation awesome and interactive. All you got to do is download the Top Hat app from either Android or the App Store, and then enter the join code 643472. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. If for some reason you brought a laptop and you're on your laptop, you can just go to that URL there. So tophat.com/e/643472. And then you'll be able to get into the presentation and participate there as well. So I'll give everyone a couple minutes to do that. All right, so the join code will be at the bottom of the screen over there, so 643472. So that's all you need in order to participate. So first, I'll start with a quick question for those of you that have been able to get into the course. This is just so you get comfortable, so you can understand how the app works. All right. So if you download it, then you will be able to submit. All right. We got at least one person who was able to submit. Let's wait for a couple people to do that. Is the Wi-Fi not cooperating? Let's see how many people. All right, we've got a couple people that submitted. All right, so show the results. Oh, this is interesting. For some reason, whenever I do this question, most of the audience seems to pick 7. This time there's a more even distribution, so that's good. All right, so it seems like you guys have most of the hang of it, so I'll start with the presentation, and then we'll do more stuff towards the end of the presentation. As I said, if you're still downloading and you want to get into the course, you can see the join code here, 643472. Cool, so Top Hat, what do we do? We're an edtech startup in Toronto. We got started almost 6 years ago now. We are doing pretty well. I guess we've raised some venture capital, about 20 million in total. We're doing reasonably well in terms of revenue, about 8 million this year, and we have about 100 employees. So we've been doing pretty well and growing pretty fast. And we're also hiring, so if you do want to work at an awesome, fast-growing startup, feel free to talk to me after that. Just to give you a quick overview of what does Top Hat actually do. This is the kind of stuff that we allow teachers, primarily professors in university, to do in their classrooms. So they can present their slides, they can do cool stuff like annotate their slides, and for those of you that are on the app, you'll see these annotations. You can do questions, kind of like I just did. You can do discussions, assign homework, and just in general make the course a lot more interactive and fun. So that's been going pretty well for us, but the education market in general is a really tough space. Very few companies have been able to make it work. So what I'm going to talk about now very quickly is just how our business model has evolved. Some of the things that we've tried to do that doesn't work, that hasn't worked very well in the space, and how we've been able to make it work. So the first thing we tried to do is enterprise sales in education. At the time, we were naive and didn't really know why that was such a horrible idea. So for those of you that are doing sales in education and are thinking, oh, I'll sell to schools, you should just stop right now and don't do that, because that's not going to work very well. There's tons of reasons why it doesn't work. You have really incredibly long sales cycles, years often. Fairly small deal sizes because they're always cash strapped. Impenetrable bureaucracies that just have dozens of people in committees that make decisions. It's generally a very painful, difficult process. So we tried that for about, I think it was about 4 months, which was mercifully short. And then we realized, all right, well, we've been able to close, I think at that time it was maybe $10,000 or $15,000 in pilot projects, and we realized that was, that's not a business. That's not going to, work particularly well. So we came up with kind of a crazy idea, which was business model version 2. We thought, well, we have this software product that we're trying to sell into education. Why don't we use the same business model that textbook companies have been using for 100 years at least, to get into the classroom. So in other words, textbook companies don't do enterprise sales. What they do is they go to a professor, get them to adopt their book in the course, and then the students, if they're if they want to purchase the content, pay for the for the access. So that's what we did. We came up with this model where the professors adopt Top Hat in their course, and then if the students, if they're interested in participating in the activities and get access to the content, purchase a subscription fee. So that allows us to take kind of a grassroots approach in higher education, which then gave us the ability to sell with a single decision maker. So in other words, just the professor, no committees, no bureaucracy, and a very quick adoption cycle. So instead of taking years, we were able to get professors to adopt Top Hat in a matter of weeks. And that to us was really, I guess, a game changer. I mean, that's what really made the company possible. Without making that shift, there's no chance that we would have been able to be successful. And then actually, once we get enough students at a university, we do actually get an enterprise adoption. So Ryerson, actually, as it happens, is an example of that. And we have a couple of departments at U of T where we got a bunch of professors using it, and then only after a while we were able to get the enterprise adoption. Is this kind of the traditional land and expand model? That's what people usually think of when they look at this model. It's actually not, because land and expand generally means you're selling to the person who needs to either get budget and make a decision at the same time. Instead, what this makes use of is actually it's a bit of a problem that's traditionally identified, which is the principal-agent problem, where the person making the decision on some kind of purchase is not the person actually using it. So in our case, the professor is making the decision, and then the students are the ones paying for it. In many ways, it can be good and bad. It's good in that price sensitivity is pretty low. So within reason, you're not, there's not a ton of variability in terms of like your price versus the adoption rate. But it can also be bad, because this model, although it allows us to get in quickly, there's also a lack of motivation. Like there's not a sense of urgency among professors, in our case, to adopt the technology. Cool. So there's similar models. So in your businesses, if you're having trouble breaking through your sales process, there's other models that you can look at. So like Top Hat is one. Another model would be pharma, selling through doctors, where a doctor prescribes the medication and the patient is the one purchasing it. Car mechanics, so a car mechanic that recommends a certain repair, but it's the actual car owner that makes the purchase. Or an improved vendor model, where there's a restricted number of vendors that could be purchased from. So that's what, these are other examples of similar business model, which I've seen other people use in order to solve a very difficult sales situation. So all right, so with that, I'll stop. Thanks.